And we're live. Hey, what up?
What up, Doc?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Man, I should have rehearsed that because I decided at the last minute to not to like I thought it was a good idea to just like, hey, instead of like using my camera and all that stuff, I'm just going to play music on my laptop and then route that and then stream it that way. But what I forget is that Serato is a pretty it's a pretty buff program, and my
Yeah.
my laptop's really old, so anytime I do anything, like it slows everything down, and then like I'm a new DJ, right? So I do rely on the waveforms.
Sure, yeah.
And when I got mixed up on the waveforms because it was all frozen up, I ended up like forgetting which knob I was turning. And so I thought it was anyways, I that was pretty embarrassing. That's a set I can just throw away. I wanted to play around and be like, yo, I like Eurobeat. And I said I would do a Eurobeat set at one point, but I have like a crate for it. And anyways, we'll just forget that happened and just we're here. We're here now for the checkdown. What's going on?
Not much, man. I'm Fubar.
And I'm Thicc Duvet.
And welcome to season 1, episode 1 of the Checkdown, everybody. Before we did this, before we really wanted to go live with a full real season, we had a preseason. And I think over the 10 episodes of the preseason, we kind of figured out a creative direction we wanted to take the show. But along the way, my man Thicc Duvet became a DJ and is real passionate about it and is DJing quite often. In fact, I keep telling him when the pandemic is done, I want him to do it somewhere and I want to show up. So, yeah, man, I know you're definitely interested in that, so I'm hoping to see that soon. Hopefully we can get up out of this pandemic, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, at least not in the first or second quarter of this year, right?
Definitely not.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, like Fubar said, I was inspired by a lot of the people that I met on Music Twitch and wanted to do something different, wanted to have a creative outlet, and I just felt like streaming video games wasn't it because all the friends that I made on Music Twitch, they were like, "Yo, I don't know what's going on. I'll come support, but like, you know, I want someone to hang out in my stream and know what's going on. And what's the most popular thing on earth? It's music, right? It's got to be music. Besides maybe food and water, I think music's pretty popular. So, I mean, I wasn't doing it for clout. It was more like it was something I always wanted to do. Then I just had the inspiration and I asked around and got advice and here we are. Now I'm spinning. So
well, yeah, man, I think one of the things that we really wanted to make like a topic of the show, everybody, is definitely talk about the culture of the Northwest, but considering the pandemic, it's hard to really do things we typically do. But it sounds to me, man, like DJing has helped you cope with having to be so restrictive in the pandemic, right?
A little bit, yeah. Once you like dive into it and start thinking about like what do I want to hear and like what do other people want to hear and getting your stream together, coming up with themes, promo. Like I'm back on social media again after leaving social media behind for so long, and now it's like, you know, I'm supporting others, I'm building and a part of communities, and so it's more like virtual communities have helped me through the pandemic. And what made it even better was being able to share the music that I like, you know, and express myself creatively in that avenue. So it added to it. Yeah.
I feel the same, man. I feel like, in fact, you introduced me to Twitch. So, in fact, I'm going to jump on board and say, in addition to virtual communities, going back to having some sort of creative endeavor has really helped me cope. Typically when I get time, I want to go do something. I want to go out. I want to go, somewhere to eat. I just want to be outdoors. I don't want to be inside. And I haven't really been able to do that, but this has helped me like alleviate stress and anxiety a lot. I even went back to some beat making, a little bit of beat making. I set up the motif and the beat machine, and I thought I'd get back into it, man. But what other, like, how else are you coping? You know what I'm saying? Besides just sitting at home, playing games, DJing, what else are you doing to get by?
Honestly, it's been it's been a lot of like getting lit, you know. I feel like, when I talk about this, it's kind of joking, but not really. Like, I almost feel like I'm back to the levels of college almost.
Okay.
But at least now I hope I'm more mature. I have a better grasp on time management. I'm more disciplined and motivated. It's just how I choose to spend my time is hanging out with my friends on Discord, because I can't hang out with them in real life, you know? I mean, I guess I could, because there's hella people doing that, but not me. Like, I'm trying to stay safe. So doing that, being creative, concentrating more on my work. Yeah, all of these things have been helping me cope. But, that blowing off steam is really important too. With my friends online, it's very important.
I agree, man. I'm a one beer wonder, so if I have a little something to drink, I'm going straight to sleep, man. Like when we would do the preseasons, I'd have a drink with you. I'd be done after that. I don't even know how I'd make it. Like whenever this is done and we do go out, I'm gonna have to build my tolerance for just staying up late and getting hyped, because I don't think I'll be able to handle it, man. I'm feeling it now. I'm like 36 and my energy just goes like around 9 o'clock. Around 9 o'clock, I'm burnt out, man. I got to start consuming caffeine to stay up. But straight up, I think we talked about this last time, man. Are you drinking anything different? I think you were White Russians or what you had on last, right?
White Russians. White Claw. White Claw. I've been drinking a lot of White Claw. But I actually don't drink White Claw anymore. I call it Kirkland Claw or Costco Claw, because like once that started hitting, right, of course Costco had to make their own brand of alcoholic seltzer, and I think by far it tastes way better than anything else out there. Not just like, I'm not like some kind of Costco or Kirkland super fan, but there's flavors of White Claw that I really don't mess with. Like, it's just really gross, and I usually drink those flavors when I've got a little bit of a buzz and I can tolerate it. But if I'm gonna, like, from the first one I'm pulling out there is not gonna be a lime. Lime is trash. And there's a couple other flavors that are just kind of but like for the Kirkland brand from Costco, that brand is like, all of them are good. So I can pick up whatever one I want from the variety pack, and it'll be delicious. So that's what I've been drinking. I've been kind of getting off the whiskey lately, because I noticed that, like, when I do want to drink whiskey, I'll drink a lot of it and just end up with a hangover.
Yeah, sure.
And if I'm trying to get, I'm not getting like super lit on the weeknights. I mean, sometimes I am. I'll tell you the truth. But if not, like if I do the whiskey thing, then on Thursday I'm hungover and I have like meetings like in the morning and I have to get stuff done. But if I get like the Kirkland Claw, right, or even like White Claw, any kind of seltzer, it's got a lot of water in there. So you can kind of get a little bit lit, and then like you won't be as hungover because you're hydrated, right? Because I think being hungover has something to do with like hydration. At least I think so.
I think so too. I mean, just from experience, I know if I get lit and I'm not feeling good, man, the first thing I do is start drinking water and coffee. I'll still have a headache. But yeah, man, matter of fact, I'm not trying to compliment Costco too much, but man, I've been surviving by going to Costco and picking up like all sorts of good stuff. They started selling Mac and Jacks in a can. I get that from Costco. Actually, from college, I found out for me, pizza and beer are like a perfect combination. And not just like, I don't like, trash ass beer. I like good stuff. I like Mac and Jacks, Alaskan Amber. Again, I can't drink a lot of it, but when I go to Costco, I try to get stuff that I think I can hook up and make good, because I can't really go out and eat in a restaurant right now. We eat out by like Grubhub. We order a lot of food from Grubhub. But yeah, man. Matter of fact,
what?
What's up?
Hold up though, Fubar. You want to check your mic levels. Yulia is saying that your mic is coming in really low and mine is really high. Um,
Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me? Is that better? Mic check, mic check.
yeah, it's gonna be delayed, right? Because
Oh yeah,
she's in
yeah.
the chat. I guess yeah, we could have probably done a test stream. I could have test streamed the other thing. Uh, Yikes. Let me manually turn down my mic and see if that is good to go. So
Mic check.
I took mine down a little bit.
No, I think we'll be good, man. It's the first episode of the season. I did some mic checks yesterday and it came out, but we really weren't able to hear Mike or Pat. Turn your mic back up, man.
Okay, hello, testing.
A little more, bro.
So if I do it right there. Hello, testing, hello. This is what it was at before, or maybe it's because I'm not sitting close to my microphone. Maybe that's it, or
yeah, we're getting thumbs up from Yulia. She's cool with it right there. Hey, shout out to you, Yulia, for doing that for us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but moving to the next segment, the big things that we really want to touch on: food, music, and culture. Man, what food has been getting you by? Have you had like any particular restaurants you've been ordering out on a lot, or going or trying to like get drive through from, or anything like that?
I haven't been eating out too much, honestly. I'm trying to be a little bit better about it because I guess to tell you the truth, I was ordering out a lot. And by ordering out a lot, I mean like using Grubhub, Uber Eats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like all these things. And so as you know, the fees that they have for the delivery are outrageous, right? Like let's say you want to order first off, like the fast food will already be priced different, right? If you go into McDonald's compared to the prices they put on the app, they're going to be a little bit different. And then they charge you this, and then they charge you this, and then they have to, pay the driver, which is fine, you tip the driver, but you get a $5 meal, right? $5 meal. It turns out after taxes to be like $7 or $8. And then all the fees and then tipping the driver, it's $25.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And at first I was down with that, right? Because I'm like, yo, actually to justify it, I'm helping out the community. Like people are, they're able to work and all that stuff. But then slowly I went from eating delivery food like twice a week to 3 times a week to finally like 5 times a week.
Oh,
and then it would be like Tuesday and Thursday or whenever Jug After Dark was, and then like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday sometimes. And I was noticing that it was just eating my funds away. Because, when you're like $25 a meal or $30 a meal times 5, right? It's $150 in a week, like just thrown away. And so I made the rule now for the new year, or I think I was trying it before the new year too.
Yeah.
Is that I'm only going to order once. I can eat takeout all I want. I just have to go get it. Okay. I've actually been doing that. And even sometimes like sitting in the line at McDonald's, which is like really long, or the line at Taco Bell is like really long, right? Because everyone's there and everyone's ordering food. I think all those drivers are going to be delivering food. Or they're just like me and just lazy to cook and they have to do that. So yeah, so I still eat like takeout, but now it also like helps. Like I need to get that takeout before I get faded because I'm not going to drive drunk or lit, So absolutely. I have to be responsible. And now like if I do have to go out, I have to go out preemptively at like 10 before I start getting faded. I come back, I eat the food, get lit, and then I won't want to like order at 2 a.m.
So for everybody listening, my boy, he's been roasting me for years because I used to be in love with McDonald's. You going to McDonald's like that, man, or you having it like every now and then? Because it's the first time you mentioned that you're actually eating McDonald's still.
It's probably like once every other week.
Okay,
right?
Okay, all right.
And I like nuggets, man. Like I've been on nuggets. I don't like I get a McDouble right every now and then, but for the most part, I just get nuggets, fries, and a drink. So I'm not actually eating burgers at McDonald's. Not saying that I don't like them, but they kind of, if I do end up eating a burger from there, for some reason, like I'm not hungry for like 48 hours. Like it's that bad. It sits in my system. Maybe that's like I can use that as like a diet or something where I like, hey, I'm gonna intermittent fast. I'll eat McDonald's and then
The
just not
McDonald's
eat for
diet?
2 days because like it doesn't like my body doesn't want to. It's like not hungry forever. It's not hungry forever. And I don't think that's healthy, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
obviously you can't eat McDonald's every day, but I'm just saying like if you eat food should be fuel, and then you should be able to eat like every so often to maintain, because it's fuel for your body, energy. But McDonald's, like I can eat McDonald's and then like seriously for the next 24 hours I'm not even hungry, and that's just really weird.
Word, man. Yeah, we eat out, we do Grubhub and all that. I find we often go to like my in-laws' house. My mother-in-law, man, she could throw down. She cooks a lot. She makes a lot of Chinese food, a lot of Indian food, a lot of Italian food. Her Indian food is dope though, man. Matter of fact, I asked her if I could, film her while she cooked and show her on the show. So I'm gonna show real quick a video of her cooking. If anybody's ever gone to an Indian restaurant, you can get something called Paratha or Pronti. It's kind of like a pancake covered in wheat dough. Here, I'll show you the video. So let's go ahead and roll.
Yeah, let's roll that. Run it.
Pat, you have to check it on the downstream. But yeah, so like what you're gonna see is a bunch of ingredients. Like right here, we've got cilantro, cauliflower mixed up with onions, and then she wraps it in this wheat dough that she makes, and she kind of makes like a bun, not like a bao bun, but then she's gonna mush it and then cover it in flour. And the whole point of this is to try to create a perfect circle. And then once she kind of gets her base, she's gonna go over and grab the rolling pin and like roll it out. And the point is to flatten it without breaking the exterior of the dough so the ingredients don't come out. It kind of looks like it might be a tortilla, but it's not. When she moves on to the next stage, which is basically putting it on the stove top to cook it, it's to cook the exterior and kind of make it like a fry bread. But you'll see in just a few moments what it looks like. And when she's going at it for like a solid hour and a half cooking, not even the ingredient process, but just cooking. And she'll make stacks. I mean, like if there's 8 of us, we'll all have like 2, sometimes 3. So she's making like 20 to 30 of these things, throwing down. It's a long process. Preeti and I have tried to make them. We've gotten close, but this is perfection. Perfect circle. It's not broken. I mean, but that's a mother's love right there. That's a grandmother's love. She feed the grandkids when we come over like that. It's awesome. So if you ever go to like an Indian restaurant, you can get it there, but we call it pronti. You can get them potatoes. That's an aloo pronti, or cauliflower. That's a gobi pronti. It's so bomb. Like I can't even tell you how good it is. It's like an amazing brunch item, man. But she's on point. Like I told you, I've tried to make this before, but it hasn't worked out. So I'm gonna go to my mother-in-law's house and learn from her, man. But in that little the pan that she's cooking it on, that's made from clay. It gets black over time, and she seasons it and then heats it up to make it harder. It's kind of like a skillet, but it's specifically for making flatbread roti or the pronti. This is probably like the favorite thing that she makes. I think that it's so delicious. Matter of fact, man, next time when I get the chance, I'm going to have you over. Me and Preeti will try and throw down, or we'll order some so you can have some and see what it's like. Because it's just
Awesome.
an amazing food experience, man. That's the finished product right there. Usually have it with some yogurt, cover it in some butter, and then you throw on some pickle on the side. It's amazing, man. So every show we're going to try and bring you some sort of food take where we show you the food that we're eating in the Northwest that you can find. So absolutely, man. But yeah, man, tell me what's it been like since we took our break from the checkdown, man. What's been up with you? Let's do the checkdown checkup.
Well, it's funny because I still really like Wednesdays, And I think that, not that I'm trying to compete, but you have to consider that, other people, especially like my friends, there's a lot of people streaming, and there's a lot of people streaming at different times. And
Word.
I've always liked the Wednesday slot. And so when we had taken a break, I was like, well, I still like streaming on Wednesdays because it's right in the middle of the week, and it's if I keep that routine, it's something that helps me. So I just wanted to keep streaming.
Yeah.
I started DJing, as you mentioned, of course, earlier, and I think everyone in the chat might know. And so when I got in touch with my buddy Ian Breezy Panda, shout out to Ian Breezy Panda.
Shout out to Ian.
We started doing these back to backs. I actually forgot how they started, but it was like he had started DJing a couple months before I had, and he was trying to stream too. And I came back from that trip. For my buddy's birthday, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start streaming music. And it ended up being like, well, if we're not doing the check down, I'm gonna stream on Wednesdays. And then the back to back started happening, and now we have a back to back. And I didn't know what to call it, right? Because I felt like you should call it something. I'm not gonna call it a back to back every time. And so he goes by the name of Ian Breezy Panda.
Breezy Panda.
And
yeah.
I came up with Thicc Duvet, and so I was like Thicc Panda, and it's obviously just a combination of our names. And then we started doing, we had another homie join us,
Yeah.
and he goes by Dr. Octopus, but it looks like Droctopus.
Droctopus.
And so we called that the back to back to back. We called that Thick Pandapus Party. So it's like me and Ian are like, anytime that we have somebody that plays with us during that slot, our back to back slot, because we're going to do that more and more. We're going to reach out to some of our friends, but we're just going to add that name and have that be a part of that name. And if they do come back, because we did 2 Thick Pandapus parties with Dr. Octopus, we're just gonna, we just run that name back. So that's what I've been doing on Wednesdays, and then we had decided to move it to Thursdays. And like I think I might have mentioned, we didn't want to use the Thursday night check down. We just want to name it the check down. It just, we'll have that for the branding, and if we decided to change the night that we stream it, so be it. But at least we're not constantly changing the name to the day of the week.
Yeah, I'm with that 100%. In fact, I remember we talked about, what is it that we're doing? What is the identity of this creative endeavor? And we wanted it to be flexible, particularly because we could see it changing and adding in different things. Even with the Twitch channel we made, i5 Media, it could encompass more than just the check down, other video projects we want to do. Because I'd love to, once the pandemic is kept under control, I'd love to me, you, maybe someone else go somewhere and do just a food review of a poppin' spot in the area, and put it on one of the streams, something like that. Yeah, not being married to a particular day is definitely a good idea. So, hey, real quick, I just wanted to get into the halftime hellos and give a shout out to Major Nazer, Rag Easy, and Ian Breezy Panda. Thanks for joining us. You could be anywhere else, but you chose to be here with us, and we just want to thank you.
That's tight. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here.
Yeah,
and we got to do a little bit better. I got to do a little bit better with the promo. I said that I was going to create the social media accounts, and I ended up not doing that. But as more people know about the show and that it's back, hopefully we can get back to the numbers before we took our hiatus. But it's not all about the numbers. I always say, also part of what makes this unique is that, Fubar and I, we've been friends for so long, and that any time that we spend together is awesome.
Yeah,
we can talk about anything and everything, and then we could also just hang out and talk about nothing. We could just be in each other's presence, watching TV, and not talk to each other for 3 hours.
Straight up. No, straight up. I remember one time you came over, and you know what? This was
and you fell asleep. Is the time you fell asleep at 10 p.m. and you left me, and even Preeti came down and you were snoring. Yeah, she was like, is he asleep? I'm like, yep. She's like, are you gonna go home? I was like, I'm kind of lazy. I'm just gonna hang out for. She's like, well, stay as long as you want. I can't believe he fell asleep on you. Yeah.
No, she asked me, is Pat downstairs on the couch? I'm like, no, he went home. She's like, oh, okay, it's okay if he stays on the couch. I'm like, nah, he wanted to go home. No, this other time we were, me and Preeti were chilling, waiting for you to show up, and we were watching True Blood on HBO, and we didn't know, we didn't know anything about that show. It had already ended, And you came in and you just sat down and we just started watching it. We like finished the episode, found out you had already watched the whole thing, knew the whole plot line. So yeah, when we kick it tough. We don't have to have a particular thing to do. I think as of late though, the big thing that I find that is consistent, you're always introducing me to music. Like music I'm not up on, you know. Like I really, some of the music that he's put me on recently is Freddie Gibbs, man. I've really enjoyed the past couple of projects from Freddie Gibbs, and you put me on to him. That's probably why I think I like you being a DJ, because I know I'll get good stuff if I follow your stream and listen to your channel, man. But what, like, when you're chilling at home or you're driving, what are you listening to right now?
Honestly, I've been listening to my own mixes, and this is not a way for you to set up a plug that I can plug, right? So when I started DJing, I really listened to my own music or my own mixes because I want to hear the transitions. But not only am I like slapping some tunes, right? Especially like when it's ratchet or if it's, you know, if it's like gunplay and hella gutta, I'm listening and I'm like jamming out in the car. And then it's like, okay, this next song's coming up. How did I do that transition? Do I like that? How could I have done it better? So I lately, when I am in the car, like running errands, because I really am honest, I don't leave the house that much. It's either to get food, like groceries, to bring my mom to Costco, because that's part of my job. Is I have to bring my mom to Costco. And then like when I go out for fast food, like if I want to go to a restaurant in downtown Kent or something, I'll end up just listening to my mixes on Mixcloud, and just trying to do my best critique on like, hey, if I'm going to use this song, I could have cut it in at this. I could have cut it in at the one. I could have let the intro ride out a little bit more. I could have, you know, that's what I've been thinking about. And that's what I've been listening to. So I haven't been listening to anything new-ish lately, like a new genre. Everything that you've heard of me so far on my DJ streams on Wednesdays and stuff like that haven't been a different genre. I haven't really been like exploring outwardly. Okay. But yeah, so it's just playing back what I had listened to in order for me to get better at the technique side of DJing, right? Because, you know, an important side of DJing is music selection and making sure you're playing to the crowd, or who cares? Maybe sometimes you're not playing to the crowd. Who cares? But, you know, because, you know, it's my bedroom, right? It's not like I'm at a club or at a bar and I need to make sure that the patrons are hype and buying alcohol, right? That's not my job, like when I'm streaming on Twitch. But I still want my friends that come to hang out in the chat to have a good time. So being wary of that, just knowing that my song selection should be cool. That's why I'm already kicking myself for my pre-party rating into this channel is one, I decided on a whim to just do Eurobeat, which is if anyone's an anime fan and knows Initial D, it's the 90s kind of, it's a sub genre or a genre that came about from Italian disco or Italo disco. High energy, like 80s, 90s electronic music. So yeah, I just felt like, hey, I'm gonna play that and play some YouTube video of like people in the 90s drifting, and that'll be cool. And then instead of like resetting my camera, I'm gonna play on my laptop. I know I already said that earlier in the show, like right at the beginning, but I'm already kicking myself of like, okay, next time, not gonna do it. I'm just gonna reset my camera. I'm gonna go back to my routines that I feel comfortable with. Like even my microphone wasn't working that well when I was streaming, and I like to welcome people when they come in and stuff like that. So just constantly everything that I do, I guess I'm to bring it way back to a couple questions ago, just trying to get better, trying to elevate, trying to grow as a DJ, as a selector, as a streamer. Everything that I'm trying to do is trying to get a little bit better.
Nice, man. Yeah. I found myself, I was working, and I like to listen to like podcasts and music when I work. And I don't know what happened. I think, I really don't know how YouTube's algorithms work, but I was listening to music on YouTube, and all of a sudden it popped up. Jimi Hendrix meets the Wu-Tang Clan, right? And I was like, what is this?
What?
And it is fire. I bought this. It was on Bandcamp. And I got to give a shout out to the dude who made this. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Everybody check it out. You know, you can listen to it for free on Bandcamp. But, you know, for all those who don't know, Pat and I back in the day, early 2000s, we were probably like our own beginning producer camp, right? Pat is actually the person who showed me how to make a hip hop track, like from sampling to laying drums on tracks. He was using Cool Edit Pro, and then I got Fruity Loops, and he kind of walked me through the basics. And he was making good stuff back then, but I've carried it forward and I'm still doing it. And I have some Jimmy records, and there's a couple songs I could sample, but this piece of work, man, this person, whoever the producer is, they were able to like perfectly take the right chops, the right riffs, and put RZA drums to it, and find so many great Wu-Tang acapellas. And it's like a whole album. It's a mix of like B-sides of Jimi Hendrix, so you get moments of him talking in the studio with people, and then that's an interlude to the next Wu-Tang song, and it's really good. So I encourage everybody to check it out. I think in the Northwest, you'll find that, you know, we really like underground hip hop and we still like rock and roll. So to me, this is like the perfect mesh of the two in one album. So Bandcamp is dope. You can listen to it for free. You can get it for like a really low cost. I bought it for like $3. You can't lose, you know. So yeah, man, I'm loving it though. I'm listening to it all the time, man. Yeah,
That's
man.
a good find.
Yeah, I got lucky. I mean, I don't know. Do you remember Sheldon from college? Did you ever know Sheldon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, for everybody who don't know, Sheldon is like a John Legend. This guy's an amazing singer, songwriter, and he went to LA to do his thing, and he's still putting stuff out. I actually found him on
That's amazing.
Bandcamp. Yeah. He's making amazing stuff too. In fact, I will actually try to drop some of his work in the chat. But yeah, man, independent music to me is still like amazing. Bandcamp is a great platform to find it. So if you're a musician yourself and you're trying to put your music out, Bandcamp is a great way. YouTube is a great way. Yeah, man, remember back in the day trying to just get the EP we were trying to do together? Like when we were trying to record in Fairhaven Studio. It was a lot of work back then. That was before everybody had a studio in their house. You had to go to a studio to record, and you had to be in like, you had to have deep pockets, or you had to be in a college with a studio you could access to get studio time back in like 2003, 2004. But yeah, man, I love your DJ, and I think you should definitely keep it up. And I told you, whenever you can get into I don't know, like a bar or a club, I'm there. You don't even have to like tell me twice.
That's the goal is, I really do want to do this, get good enough to do it part-time and still have my day job. Cause you know, I still love working with college age students, working in higher education. Education is a passion of mine, but I like music is also a passion of mine too. So I'd love to be able to split that and do that, to have a creative outlet and to have it, you know, have something else to do, right? Something else to concentrate on. I feel like the other musical kind of creative outlet I had before was folk dancing. And so many people may or may not know, I know how to Filipino folk dance. I might not know how to speak, you know, my native language or the language of my parents. But I do know a lot about Filipino history. I can cook some, not all, and I don't eat a lot of, you know, some Filipino foods that I don't like, but I at least know how to make Filipino food and appreciate it. I just don't speak the language, but learning how to do the folk dances helped connect me with my culture. So yeah, and I was doing that, and eventually, like I don't remember what happened, but like I think more or less that the older I got, we wanted to give some of the younger kids that were like getting into like starting like high school and stuff like that, starting to get them to do that, to appreciate and to learn more about that, because I'd been doing folk dancing since I was a kid, like on and off. And then I started doing it again in middle school, and then I did it again in college. And then post college, I started teaching it to college age students so they would do it for their cultural nights. And then now I'm like, I was doing it a little bit longer with a dance troupe, and then I just kind of fell off. Also because like man, the tinikling takes a lot out of your knees. If you know anything about the tinikling, like it's really hard on your knees. And I'm getting old, man. My joints are hurting. And like you get these young kids that are like 13, 14, 15, their knees are great.
They're
So go ahead
perfect.
and
Yeah,
do that tinikling, youngin. Like I'm gonna let you shine now.
absolutely.
Because they usually do tinikling at the very end because it's like the most hype one. It's the one with the bamboo sticks. So yeah. So
Nice, man.
creative outlets. Now I want to take it. Get good enough to start doing that once COVID is over. Start playing at bars. Start playing at clubs.
It'd be dope if you did it at the. Remember that one time we kicked it and we ended up going to that bar in downtown Renton and getting lit and coming home early, thinking it was like 1 o'clock and it was like 10:30. You remember that place?
Yeah,
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 man. Something like that. I told you before, man. If you DJ at a spot that has wings, I mean, I'm there already. But if it's got wings, it's even better. You know.
yeah.
Um, are you connected to anyone in the club scene? Like, do you have it in already, or are you like starting from dry on that?
I do. And I don't. I think that's important, but also I don't want to use that because I knew them. Or at least I knew one of them before I got into DJing, and I don't want to like rely on that to just be like, hey, like we're buddies, put me on. I want to make sure that I'm ready because I'm going to get paid to do it. And if
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
paid to do something, I want to do it well. And I know I
absolutely.
can, I just need to get to that level. So I know two people that have their own kind of I guess promotion. I don't know what you call it. They throw parties and I know I can do that. But I also want to be able to like DJ on my own, like a small like dive bar, so that I can tell all my friends, let's go to this dive bar. It's got good food. I'm gonna be DJing. It's not a club, but I want to be able to do that. And then I even told my buddy Ian Breezy Panda, I want to take our Thick Panda parties
Oh
and,
yeah.
and do that at a small like dive bar that all our friends can kick it at. But eventually, yeah, too. I want to play at like some of the clubs on Cap Hill. But like I said, that's progression. I have to make sure that I get better in every sense, and every aspect of DJing in order to do that. And I'm obviously today, February 4th, 2021. I'm not there yet. So I feel like it's not a blessing, right? I don't like
Mhm.
quarantine. I don't like COVID. I don't like feeling unsafe every time I go out. But by the time we finally get over this, right, I think I'll be ready. Which also means like I am not trusting us to get out of COVID anytime soon because you see like the city girls throwing up a concert, right? And nobody's wearing masks and everyone's sharing drinks and shit. And I'm not blaming it on city girls. I'm blaming it on the fact that there are artists out there that are going out there and like having these parties and going out and ugh, and this vaccine right now, like it's not coming out, it's not being distributed fast enough. So we're gonna be in this for at least another year, I feel.
I do too. I actually agree with you. I would say I don't think 2021 it'll be the year it gets resolved, but I think that we'll see progress in terms of the vaccine getting out. My in-laws got the vaccine. I'm not able to get the vaccine because of my age group and what I do for a living, but
Yeah.
I'll probably get it, quarter 3 or quarter 4. And from that point, I'll probably definitely be able to try and do something outside besides just like go to the grocery store and then come home and not go anywhere, because that's how I am right now. Yo, I wear a mask. First off, I wear an N95 mask, a cloth mask, and a face shield to go to
Yeah.
Albertsons, because I'm
You were
just
already
like,
doing that. People are saying that you need to double up now because they don't know about the new variants. So double up, everyone. Double up on your masks if you aren't doing that already. But Tyler was tripling up.
my wife, she be clowning me. She's like, man, you look like a dumbass. This was back in April. So what happened was the day that it was announced that we were going on lockdown was actually my birthday last year. So I'd killed all my birthday plans. And then in January, 2 months before, the reports were that the virus was so severe that you should have a face covering. And I looked up like when bird flu was out or Ebola was out, what type of masks were people wearing? And it was the N95 mask. So I rushed to Lowe's. They were already out. This was in January 2020. They're available now, but I definitely don't think that we're at the end of it. I think it will change. Like, we'll still see a lot of people get sick. We'll still stay inside, but I think that I will now learn how to live with this. I'm not going to let this, stop me from having a good life, being able to do things I want to do, but definitely with restriction and to protect myself and to protect others, But man, I can't wait till we can just return to some real normalcy, That'd be great. And shout out to Taylor Napolsky and my boy Mark in the chat. I see y'all out there, man. But yeah, man, what weekend plans do you have going on? What do you got going on this weekend?
Something happened at work. I mean, not like an event, but basically I have to write a budget way faster than normal. Usually I get a couple weeks to write a certain budget that's supposed to be for the next fiscal year. But with COVID changing things around and schedulings getting moved around, and something happened with the end of all of these budgets, so it has to be 3 weeks earlier. So I was just told last week about when the due date was for this budget, but we have all these other policy and structural changes happening at where I work, and now I found myself in a situation where if I don't get the budget done tomorrow, because Friday, last day of the work week, I'm gonna have to do it over the weekend. It's cool because I can do it at my own pace at least, and I'm not doing it on hours and making sure I'm answering emails from other campus partners and all that stuff, students, anyone that I'm helping.
Yeah.
So I might have to work this weekend, and that's not fun. But besides that, I know the Super Bowl's coming up, and I said this on my stream. I said it last night. I won't forget Tom Brady wearing that MAGA hat. So, he's an old dude and he's still got it. That's cool. He'll probably go down as the GOAT QB. But I don't fuck with MAGA, So that's it. That's me. So I'm not rooting for him. Even if he is on another team and it's like, oh, the Patriots threw him away and now, redemption, or he's still got it. Like, I don't fuck all that, dude. He had a MAGA hat on. That's all you need to know about Tom Brady.
Well, I mean, I can definitely understand that. I think my opinion is this on the Super Bowl. I'm gonna definitely watch it, but I like Patrick Mahomes. I'm rooting for the Chiefs, but I can't count out how Brady plays under pressure. So I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I don't think it's in the bag, and I don't think Patrick Mahomes should either. I think he needs to bring his A game. I remember when the Seahawks played the Patriots, man, I thought we won that joint, and we lost it on the 1 yard line. So yeah, man, I hear you. I definitely hear you. I'm rooting for Pat.
You don't need to bring that up, dog. Come on.
Hey, man, are you kidding? Okay, I got love from my coworkers, bro. My boss be bringing that up to give me a hard time when I wear a Seahawks jersey to the job. He'll be like, yo, didn't you lose a Super Bowl on the 1 yard line? Out of nowhere. I'm like, all right, thanks. I appreciate that. That's a sore spot, but Mark knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, I'll be very honest. When the Hawks are out of the playoffs, my interest in football rapidly declines. I don't really care that much. I'll watch games casually, but I really am just rooting for the home team. I thought we had a good season. I was disappointed at how we crapped out. I do have a question, and I got a question for you, Pat, or Thicc Duvet, and I got a question for everybody in the chat. Are the Seahawks only good at home because we have the 12th man, or was it really the fault of the offensive coordinator and some inexperienced receivers dropping balls? Where does the blame lie?
That's not an old thing, right? I mean, that's not a new thing to say that the Hawks are only good at home, because they've been saying that even like the Holmgren years, and especially the end of Holmgren's tenure, they've always said that, you know, West Coast teams don't play that good because they have to constantly fly east and yada yada yada. And maybe that's true, maybe not. Um, but I think it boils down to a couple things. One, it's got to be the coaching, right? Everyone's got to be on the same page, on the same level. And as I think it kind of came out that like the philosophy that they were using was wrong, and of course that's why they made the change at offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The other thing is that we've really become like, maybe this is the same thing. We've become too predictable, right? We've become way too predictable. It's like run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. There we go. Are we run, pass? Like we're gonna run. I think we talked about it even in the preseason, right? The last time we were on, that you're going to run this ball no matter what you do. And I used that what do you call it? The reference to that video of that guy that was trying to do a nunchuck show, right? And
hey,
like,
hold on. Tell that story.
Tell that story first. What story?
You got to tell the nunchuck story. You actually got to go through it again. It's the season. It's not the preseason. You got to hit me with it.
Okay, so there's a video. Maybe we should have queued it up. And the video is a guy, and he's got nunchucks, and he bows to the camera, right? And it looks like he's gonna do a dope nunchuck show, right? But he does this flip first. But when he flips, he doesn't land the flip, and he slams his head on the ground. But he still pops back up. And then he still, because of the muscle memory, he starts still doing the nunchuck thing while he's like concussed, and then he falls over. And I use that as a reference to the Seahawks running the football, because even if our O-line is not consistent, because it's not, it got better over the season, but for the most part, we're never going to get that O-line. We'll always compare the O-line to when we had, like, you know, Walter Jones and Steve Hutch, and like that O-line, like, you know, Sean Alexander ran behind that O-line, but it's also easy to run behind a top tier O-line.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I could run behind that O-line and get 10 yards because those linemen are so good, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We had become like, we thought we could replace Marshawn, right? Marshawn is a generational back. He can run without an O-line. He is his own O-line. Like, he barrels people over. He's hard to tackle. He's quick, right? So when we had that O-line, and then we had Marshawn, and we're like, yes, run the ball, because we could run. But if you don't have a good running back, you don't have a good O-line, and you run, pass, like we have to let Russ cook, right? Eventually they figure it out, right? Eventually they figured out Russ too. Our receivers are great, but we became too predictable, and that's why we started to dive really bad towards the end of the season, and in the playoffs we just, you know, that's what it is. At least that's my that's what I feel.
I feel it,
I
man.
still love the Hawks. I think we've got a lot of work to do still. We still have Russ. We still have him for years. We just need to make sure all the things are there.
I'm with that. I actually, you know, in the chat, someone mentioned, you know, this is the result of the Pete Carroll philosophy, and I definitely agree. I like Pete Carroll. I definitely want Pete to coach the team. The thing I will say is, when I was watching the game, I was telling my wife, I'm like, man, they're gonna have to watch out for Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's a problem. They didn't do a good job with Aaron Donald, not just at the offensive line, but in terms of the play calling, right? So if you have a top tier defensive line, so the Rams defense is amazing, and their defensive line is amazing. If you got a team like that, that's going to rush you, and they're going to have secondary all over your receivers, and the linebackers are going to be able to cover zone, and they can sprint to the ball. You can't wait for the deep ball. You can't wait for a play to come up. Like, I love Russ. Russ is great at evading defenders until the defense breaks down and he'll hit someone. You can't do that. You got to do a lot of play action and sweeps for short throws or short yardage gains. And I never saw them adjust to that. I never saw them figure out, you know, just chip away, do quick moves, chip away, play action, Don't let them corner Russ. Yeah, like, and I love DK Metcalf. I thought he was being kind of immature, to be honest. I felt like you ain't got a poker face, bro. You got to learn to play poker, because the second you started whining on the sideline, they started spying you, and that's when they got that interception, and they ran it back, you know. But I think he's amazing. I just think that, you know, he's still, what is he, like 20, 21, 22? Something like that.
He has like, this is 2 seasons under his belt, so he might be 24, I think. If he did all 4 years at college,
he's gonna be. I hope we keep him. That's my fear. Is
absolutely
he's gonna garner top money. You know. So yeah, I love the Hawks. I just you know, they make a couple changes. I hope we get back at it. They still need to let Russ cook. They cannot double back. We were 12-4 under that idea. We just crapped out on the first game. But yeah, man. That's what I got, bro. Yeah, man. Thanks for being willing to come back and do the check down, man. I my fear, honestly, while we took our hiatus and got things up and running, you were taking off with the DJ thing, and I'm like, he's not gonna want to come back. He's DJing too much. You had like 50, 60 viewers, and you were actually much better than you give yourself credit for right out the gate. I know you were concerned about your transitions and your mixes, but
yeah.
I didn't know you were this interested. I'm actually very surprised at what I've found when I'm hopping on the stream to check you out. So yeah, man, I'm glad we were able to pick this up and keep going, man.
Absolutely. And this is also the thing, right? We can pre-program, you know, and improve the show, which I want to do. But essentially, like we mentioned, and like I even mentioned earlier in the show, it's me and you talking, and I love hanging out with you and talking. This is why we've been able to stay so close for so long, even after college. So to me, this is not a chore.
Yeah,
it's a passion project, but it's also fun for me. I take this philosophy for other things that I do as well. If I can make it fun and not make it work, it becomes easier to do. And that's not like sage advice, you know what I mean? That's, everyone knows that, right? If you like what you do, you'll want to keep doing it as long as you have the time. And so to me, this is not a chore. So when you were like, hey, when are we coming back? And we had to delay it for a little bit because of scheduling, but you know, I'm all here for it. And so, you know, we're going to do what, another 10 episodes, take another break, and then do another 10 episodes. You know, we're going to have it, you know, this is why this is like the first season, right? Because we had our preseason.
Yeah.
So this is our launch, and we're going to continue to improve the show, improve the graphics. Once we're out of COVID, like Fubar mentioned, once we're out of COVID, we're gonna go out and like do segments and show those segments on this show. We'll have all the audio for people that want to listen to some of the content that, you know, it's essentially most of it is us speaking.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know. I also know you wanted to do some interviews too, man. And in fact, you were on someone else's stream, man. I didn't get to check it, but like, whose stream were you on? What was it like? Like, what was it like to be the person being interviewed? You know what I mean? Was it enjoyable? Would you do it again?
So I was, if you're thinking about chatterboxing, so Stank Palmer.
Stank Palmer.
You remember you remember man, I'll use his government name, Dodds, right?
Dodds, yeah.
Yeah, so Dodds' cousin, and that was my introduction to Music Twitch, because I was only a part of like a couple streams, and so he does his morning show every morning from 9 to 11, you know, twitch.tv/Stank Palmer. But at night, every Monday night, he does a talk show. And he invites random people on there. And as we had started like doing this show last season, or for the preseason, he invited me on. And so I got on and I got to talk to him about, like, you know, the whole story of why, you know, we wanted to start a podcast. And then I was like, let's do a YouTube show.
Yeah.
And then it was like, now let's do it on Twitch. But, you know, essentially the main course of this content is us talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
So bringing it all back around is, you know, this is never going to become boring to me, because whether we have the cameras or streaming, or, you know, hanging out at your house, or, you know, getting sushi, or going out to do something. Like it's essentially just me and you just chatting and talking.
I agree, man. I was actually, I was doing some stuff around the house, and I thought about this, and I'm like, the opportunity we have here is for us as a creative pair. It's pretty unprecedented. We're locked down. It's unsafe to like just go and do what we was doing before, but now we have the ability to have this creative product, like to capture this moment in time. Sometimes I will go back and listen to some of the like recordings we did back at Fairhaven with the ABs, like some of the songs we would do with the ABCs with Berto, Taylor, you, me, Baby T, and I'd be like, I'm glad I still have this stuff, because I got kids now, and one day they're gonna be like, Dad, what were you like? I'm like, well, I used to be a recording artist, I don't get much of, or I don't make time. That's what it is. I don't make time to go back to that creative space. I'm actually making time. This is it, So I love it. I love that I'm gonna be able to put it on YouTube and like show the family and like just text it to people like, yo man, check out what we're doing. We got a podcast. Come check it out live. And everybody out there, if we haven't connected through social media, you can find me on Facebook, Thicc Duvets on Instagram. When we're looking for content, I'll probably reach out and be like, yo, here's a poll. I'm trying to do a food review locally. Are you trying to see something about like sushi, barbecue, soul food, Italian food locally? Here's some options. Pick which one you want to see and then go shoot it and then show it on one of the episodes. So that's how, I want to source information and get participation and just search for ideas and try new things. So yeah, man, I'm really glad we can keep doing it. And again, shout out to everybody who showed up tonight. Fozzie 1000, Taylor Napolsky, Rad Geezy, Mark Saw. We said it earlier. You could have been.
It's Rad Geezy.
Rad Geezy.
What is oh damn! I'm not gonna say his government name, but
okay.
it's an Indian name. So
okay.
Yeah, but Rad Jeezy. The other thing I wanted to say is that I still have my PC tower from college, and I know it has all of my music on there. I literally just need to turn it on and figure out a way to download the information because I don't know what USB ports or if it even has USB ports. It's so old, but I know all my old beats are on there, and I know if I can just access that and turn that on, I would have all the old beats. Because I was telling people in my stream, as one of my stream redemptions, is I could play an old video, a funny old video, or show like funny pictures and tell you the story behind the pictures. And then like I think people were like, "Oh, didn't you used to rap?" I'm like, I don't know where the songs are anymore. They might be on that hard drive, but you said you still have some of the songs. I didn't even know that. But either way, I would love to be able to. We do talk about the past a lot, because it's us. We've been friends for so long. Like we love talking about like funny stories from the past.
Back in the day.
But yeah, I would love to be able to do that. To do like a stream about like those days. That would be so fun.
Yeah, man. Matter of fact, the beat that I want personally, the one that really caught my attention was you sampled Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, and I put I put Gray Fox on there. He was like, this is how you do it. Hand to hand. Like only a fool trusts his life to a weapon. And I had that drum loop that was like the most used drum loop of all time. I think even to this day, I put that drum loop on there. I sampled Metal Gear Solid. I looped that shit and I made a beat. And we were supposed to write to that too. I also made one out of Diablo 2. That was really cool too. But all those beats are on that hard drive for sure. So I just need to access that and do that. Oh man, Rajeezy says to freestyle. We were gonna make that actually a point redemption as well, but I don't think we turned that on this channel just yet. But
we'll have to come back to that.
We'll have to come back to that also because I when we rewatched, or at least I rewatched our freestyling from the preseason of the check down, I wasn't really liking where I was at. I had to drink way more to feel more open, and like then I was super trashed after the show, and then I had a hangover the next morning. So we'll revisit that. And Rajeezy, I know Rajeezy freestyles.
Okay.
He was actually a part of a hip hop group too when he was in college. So I'm gonna roast you on that later. Maybe we'll bring Raji on. Rajeezy. Maybe we'll bring Rajeezy on at some point. But yeah,
I'm down. I'm absolutely down.
It's already 10. So what are we gonna do?
Yeah. So I just want to thank everybody for showing up. We'll have to end it. Pat, you will have to, or Thicc Duvet, you will have to show me later on who we should raid at the end of our shows, because I'm not prepared to do a raid right now. But I definitely want to wrap it up. Matter of fact, just tell me, how do you raid someone? What should I do?
So I'm not a mod yet on my own shared channel. But what you do is you do /raid and in the name of the person that you want to raid. And
Okay.
so I think a good person to raid, let's see. Well, damn. There's a lot of let's raid Chrissy Forums.
All right, let me give me a second.
So
I'll set you up. I'll set you up as a
/mod and then my name, Thicc Duvet. And then maybe I can raid. But either way, let's do.
Okay, let me see. You said /mod?
Yeah, /mod and then my name.
Okay, let me see. So Twitch i5 Media /mod and then /Thicc Duvet.
No, you don't have to i5 Media that.
Okay.
You don't have to put that in. You just /mod in the chat.
Oh, in the chat. Okay, hold on.
Mod and then my name. But if you just want to raid right now while people are here, just do /raid and then space and then Chrissy Forums. I put it in the chat. But you don't need to put that / in there.
So /mod and then Chrissy Forums?
Yeah. No, /raid.
Raid, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then
see, Rajeezy put it, if you want to mod me, Rajeezy put it in there.
Oh man, you're dope. Rajeezy,
thank y'all for your patience.
I did everything else except learn how to raid someone.
Yeah. And so who we're gonna raid is she was on Stank Palmer's Chatterboxing with me at the same time. She had started her own talk show as well. She's really cool person, and she should be doing some fun stuff too. And she's really involved in the music community, but not a DJ herself. So I pop in there. I usually just lurk. They got some like fun games that they play with their viewers. Just something fun. If we, you got it.
I got it. We're good. So before we go,
is the raid going? Because it doesn't go right away. You gotta push enter, and then it says that we're going to. There we go. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
So now it's loading up the raid, and now we can do our goodbyes and whatnot.
What happened to peace?
Oh, you're gonna do it right now? Yeah. So once again, this has been the Checkdown, episode 1, season 1, and we plan to do 10 episodes and take a short break again, and then do another 10 episodes. That's the way we're gonna do it. We're gonna put this out in podcast land, save our videos. We're gonna upload stuff to YouTube. We're just gonna try to get more involved. But we like Fubar said, and like we like to say, you could have been anywhere tonight, but you were here rocking with us, and we really appreciate it. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Thank you again. Shout out to everybody in the chat tonight, and thanks for rocking with us. We'll be back next week.
So what happened to peace?
Peace.